on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Wait! Before we go on and you look up in the sky, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. All right? It's going to do you some good. Real good. Payoff in the future. Now that future comes right now because we're about to review Nope.
What if I told you that today you'll leave here different?
And to be clear, let's just get this straight out the gate. I want to go full spoilers. If you ain't seen it, get out.
Get out. Get out! Yo, chill, man. Get out! Chill, man.
I went and seen it in IMAX because this film was recorded with IMAX cameras, and I wanted to see Jordan Peele's true vision of what he wanted to put it in. And all throughout the press junket before this movie come out, they kept saying this is a spectacle. This is about spectacle, and the point is in it about spectacle. But it took a long time to get to that point.
I guess in general, the movie's about a guy who works for the movie industry. He works in Hollywood, and he is a horse wrangler. Apparently, he comes from a long line of horse wranglers. And on his ranch, he sees something very strange in the sky. The movie ultimately is about movie production and about how the crew are like the unsung heroes of most movies. I mean, Dana Kaluuya literally wears a shirt with the word crew on the back of it at the end of the film, you know? So it's about how hard the people behind the camera work to get that perfect shot, you know? And they mostly go unsung. Everyone cares about the talent. Like there's a scene early on where there's this actress. Everyone's like, the actress is on set, yay! And then Dana Kaluuya is there with a freaking horse, you know? And no one cares, you know? And no one's listening to what he's got to say. And I'm like, I get it. I see what the big themes of the film are.
Yeah. That is one, and then to the spectacle part of people caring about getting that shot, like social media in a way of getting a shot to prove something that's real, for monetary gain.
Exactly. They even had a weird shout out to like TMZ, which I thought was below Jordan Peele.
You thought it was a low blow because of TMZ's reputation?
I thought it was kind of a low blow. I thought he'd be a little higher than that. But I'm like, okay, fine, you know.
But that motherfucker got it. So that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why I thought it was a low blow. Like the guy got like absolutely tortured. I'm like, all right. But for me, the real reason why I didn't like, I wasn't wild about the film. I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't like it. I wasn't wild about the film is because plot-wise, I feel like the audience was ahead of the movie for the bulk of the film. So the bulk of the film, there is a strange thing in the sky, and our characters are puzzling over what it is. Now, we know what it is. It's an alien, right? Right? We get it. We know this. Yeah. But the movie takes a long time before our characters are on the same page as the audience, right? They're like, oh, what could it be? Let's get a picture. Maybe there's a cricket in the way.
That cloud hasn't moved in
for a long time. Yeah, there are keys falling from the sky. And I'm like, yes, it's an alien. The word alien, or the idea that it was an alien, didn't come up until, I feel like halfway through the film. It wasn't until they got to fries. And by then, like, an hour had passed. You know what I mean? Where I'm ahead of the film. And for me, I felt like I was waiting for the film to catch up. But see, I feel like the movie was slowed, not because nothing was happening or because people were just like chit-chatting and I didn't think that chit-chat was interesting, but it's because I knew the answer, right? It was like a quiz and I had the answer. I'm like a kid with my hand in the air. I'm like, me, it's an alien, me. And there, everyone's like, maybe I should carry the 3. And I'm like, baby, that's what I felt like, you know. For me, it took them a long time to get to the aliens. Now, when they finally did, the movie finally took off. The movie, I could feel the movie like change gears and start moving, you know. I
do enjoy of a mental switch of from what we expect it to be that is an actual ship, and it's not a ship. It's a whole damn animal.
Right. It's not an alien in a ship. the actual thing you see, the disc, is the alien, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So I thought that's interesting. That's an interesting little wrinkle, I suppose. But that was, for me, that wasn't enough for me to keep me entertained. Now that did go very neatly into the theme, right, of like animal wrangling and trying to get the animal to do the right thing in the shot, which is literally was Daniel Kaluuya's whole career, right? Was dealing with horses, and like the movie wasn't badly made, right? The movie was it seemed like it was expertly made, and which is why I was curious as to why I was ahead of the movie for so long. And the movie never played with that, right? It never played with my expectations with it. I was just ahead, and I waited for the movie to catch up to me. Now, as someone who has been working, I've spent my entire career, my entire life in production, right? So you would think, television production in particular. So you would think this movie would really, really appeal to me, especially as, I'm part of the crew. This is the only time.
I'm part of the crew.
Yeah, this is the only time where I'm in front of the camera, right? I literally spend every day for the past 11 years as a member of the crew. And you would think this would be just for me. You would think he wrote this movie with my name at the bottom of it, right? It was for me. But I was bored. I want to stress that this movie, as you said, is very pretty. And it was expertly shot, especially considering a lot of this movie takes place at night with black characters. And for those who don't know, cameras aren't made to pick up black skin. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? Cameras are made to reflect light. And when they were calibrated, Kodak is one of the first people to calibrate cameras. They did that against white skin. So they're very good at picking up white skin tones. Daniel Kaluuya is a very dark person, and so they shot him at night, and it looked wonderful. So which is, for me, I'm always like, it's such annoying when black people don't show up and look nice on film, because I'm like, you can do this. And Jordan Peele shot this film beautifully.
I could see like the stars in the sky reflecting and shining down. The moon is just, it's perfect in this now.
And more importantly, you can see Daniel's face.
Yes,
because Daniel Kaluuya's character is quiet. Man, it's a tough thing, man. God, a quiet main character is really tough. So Keke Palmer gets all the scene chewing scenes, right? Because she's a big ball of energy. She's talking, dancing. Daniel Kaluuya is very stoic, very still, very quiet. So the only way you understand what he thinks is through his facial expressions, right? So he had a tough job, and then they did that at night, and you could still see everything. Shot well, beautifully.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Keke's energy within the film. Man, I wish I had more from Steven Yeun though, but because
I totally agree. I feel like the main characters, the interesting characters, were everyone except for Daniel Kaluuya. Like, this is another thing about the movie. Steven Yeun, he's got a really interesting story where he experienced extreme trauma as a member of a television production, and now he spends his life more or less monetizing that trauma. I'm like, that is interesting. I want to know more about that guy. And the camera's like, no. And I'm like, oh, wait. So I'm watching the movie, and the movie starts off really, really strong. And it starts off somewhere you're not expecting. It's a freaking monkey. It's like one of the first shots. It's a terrifying, awful shot of a monkey smeared in blood. Or a chimpanzee smeared in blood. He's got blood all over his mouth. There's a dead body there and a shoe. He's like wiping his mouth, and the monkey turns and looks into the camera. It is absolutely chilling. And I was like, oh man, what a great start we got here. And we never got back to that damn monkey and for a long time. And I felt like every moment that we didn't get back to that story, the movie got slower and slower for me.
Jordan wanted to show people that, and it's like, that is the root of this film, of the spectacle of something that basically can kill your ass.
So shouldn't Steven have been
shouldn't
the main
that have
character?
been the main character? Should have, yes.
I'm like, did we get the wrong main character? Or Keke Palmer, like the lady who's so much more interesting and so much more emotive? Why are we with Daniel? I'm like questioning some of his decisions here. You know what I mean? It feels odd to me because I really enjoyed Us and I really enjoyed Get Out. I think Get Out is damn near perfect. So this is unusual to me.
He could have just been like, man, I'm just gonna write this. This sounds good. Put this with this. You know, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have people think it's about aliens, but it's gonna be about this. But then the overall arc of it is gonna be about people, you know, being a spectacle and making monetizing off of something that's very hurtful of the past.
And I think that's really the problem to me anyway. The movie's about too much stuff, right? Yeah. The movie's about an alien. It's also about family. It's also about monetizing trauma. It's also about the unsung heroes of a movie production crew. It's also about respecting animals and respecting animals' rules. The movie's about a lot of stuff. And I feel like it didn't all click or gel as nicely as I liked. In my mind, I could feel myself reorganizing this movie. I could feel myself centering the movie around Steven's character and seeing more about that chimpanzee that went crazy, seeing more about how that affected him as a young man growing up. And I could see myself reorganizing this film.
There was a scene that was in this that was really freaking cool and creepy. And of course, it was probably the part where a lot of people in the theater would be like, nope. Nope. Where the animal was hovering over the house, and it just had a great meal of about 50 people, and great shot of showing the people go inside and basically get digested. And it's like it rains horror blood on the house.
Yeah, and
love that.
It did. It looks really cool, but when you start thinking about it, I'm like, is the alien taking a shit? Come on. Is that what's happening in this film?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is the alien pooping or is it barfing? I wasn't really sure. I'm like, so either the alien is pooping on the house or it's barfing on the house. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this movie feels it feels lower than I expected Jordan Peele to go.
No.
I'm like,
the alien was barfing on the house for two reasons.
Okay.
To create enough fear to get them out of the house. 1, 2, because he got lodged with a ceramic freaking horse with flags on it. So he's trying to get that thing out.
Last week, did you think you would say the phrase, the alien was barfing on the house, when you were talking about Nope? I bet you the answer is no. You know, and that's unusual. Now, you know, the scene that I thought was interesting, the really cool and creepy scene was a fake out scene. Where
Lord.
Daniel goes into the stables and there are aliens everywhere. They're poking their head out and they're moving really slow and creepy. And he's like trying to get the shot. He's trying to get the shot, but he's nervous and his hand is shaking. I'm like, yo, that's great. And then it turns out to be a fake out. I could feel more suspense there than I felt in almost any other part of the movie except for that part with the monkey. I'm telling you, there is a good movie in there somewhere with Steven Yeun and that damn monkey. There's a really good movie in there somewhere. And
you never know.
I want that.
He may have a new movie coming out with that as a prequel called Kinda.
That's right. Could be. I kind of want to see it. But the spectacle part is the part where Jordan Peele goes full on Spielbergian. This almost feels like a strange love letter to both the movie crew and to Steven Spielberg, because we talked before about the Spielberg face, where people look up in the sky and they go, and the camera moves in close to him.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of Spielberg face here, which I think fits Jordan Peele pretty nicely. I'm like, oh, look at that. That fits like a glove. I could see the influence of Jaws, of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I could feel a lot of Spielbergian influence on the way he shot this film.
What I think that his main goal was to say, hey, trying to get $1 or trying to get $1 after stuff that caused so much pain, and you're trying to get a picture or capture a video or something, it's wrong.
Exactly.
World star hip hop and putting your phone up and watching people get beat up and not doing anything about it is wrong.
Or just like TMZ, as the movie mentioned, right? Like early on in the film, there's a horse on set, and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't bring the reflector ball too close to the horse. He won't like it."
He said it like several times.
Yeah, and they bring the reflector ball, and the horse freaks out, right? And so the reflector ball is becomes like a symbol of like irritation, right? Mm-hmm. And then the TMZ guy shows up, and his whole helmet is reflected. So he's like a living irritation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's a funny little wing leg nudge, funny little joke. You know, I think that's cool. And I liked how there's a cinematographer in this film where he was like, he literally gave his life trying to get that perfect, impossible shot. And I'm like, wow, yeah, these guys really do go to some extreme lengths. And I like that a lot. I also feel like the movie was making a lot of commentary on digital filmmaking, because if you noticed, all the digital stuff failed, and they had to go back.
They had to go back to real
analog stuff. You know, that's the only thing to capture that perfect shot. Even the photograph at the very end, where they, you know, she got Keke Palmer got a photograph at the end from this well. Even that was like, you know, like a Polaroid type of thing. You know, so I think Jordan is making a lot of interesting commentary on film and filmmaking and the people behind it and the techniques, but and that's cool, but I didn't find it particularly entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
I feel like a lot of the stuff he's talking about is interesting and done well, but it wasn't something that kept my interest.
Yeah. I felt the drag, but it kept my interest enough. The acting kept my interest enough with certain characters in this. I do agree that Daniel Kaluuya was stoic and stuff. And
it's a tough job. Tough job.
But Keke was great.
Can we talk about the title? Like, you know, I've been on my title game lately.
Oh man.
Didn't like the title Nope before I saw the movie, and afterwards I'm like, nope. I'm like, why was it called Nope? Nope to me sounds funny. Sounds kind of silly. Sounds kind of tongue in cheek. And the movie was not funny or silly or even particularly tongue in cheek. So I'm like, how come they didn't call it like, I don't know, Viewers or something? I don't know. Like, why Nope? Nope. I mean, even within the film, when people said the word like Nope, and they said it, and it was funny, right? It was a punchline. So I'm like, why name the movie after the punchline? And I wonder, all this stuff adds up to me wondering if Jordan Peele is one of those people who are falling. This is going to sound extreme, but just hold on. It's going to falling victim to his success. What I mean by that is there's a time where when you do everything right, people just don't question you anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm a big Steven Spielberg fan, but also a big Stephen King fan. And he talks about how as he has matured and as he's gotten more and more popular, he's had a hard time finding an editor. Because who will edit Stephen King? And who's going to be like, yeah, you didn't write that right? Who's going to tell Stephen King no? You know what I mean? And I feel like Jordan Peele might be having that same problem. So I wonder, I don't know, but I wonder if maybe Jordan Peele's having a hard time finding people to say nope to hit some of his ideas, you know?
Maybe so. But let's get into the rating. I'm giving this film a C+.
Yep, I actually totally agree with your C+, man. I'm giving it a C. So did I poison your view on Nope?
No, you don't poison my view.
Okay, would you have given it a C before I said anything?
I would have still given it a C+ because like I said that the film was a slow burn and it was slow. I enjoyed the visual aspect of this film, and sometimes I'm a fucking sucker for that. And I'm a sucker for something like I thought I was gonna see that aliens walk out of a ship.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that it is one thing, it interested me a lot. It kept me wrapped in. But yeah, it was super, super slow. I think people should go and see it.
I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like this is a movie I need to watch again because it really landed funny for me. So I guess right now, I'll say yes, go ahead and watch it because I'm planning on watching it again. But don't think this is Get Out. There's no searing commentary, not socially, not really on anything. This isn't Us. This isn't like wildly creative, right? He even seems to admit in the film that this isn't crazy creative because, yeah, like you said, he's more or less doing kind of his own version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So this isn't like some kind of creative tour de force. This isn't some sort of extreme commentary. This is just a movie about aliens.
He has said several times this is his most ambitious film. That's what he has said.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it probably is. It's a big film. But this will not stick in my head. But what will stick in my head about this movie is the image of that damn monkey. That was interesting to me. I like that a lot. Move the movie over there. I feel like there's a really interesting story with Stephen Yeun and that killer monkey. There's a really interesting story over there. But with this alien, I feel like this needed some work.
Okay, well, I gave this film a C+. Devin gave this film a C. I recommend it. He does right now for you to go see it. Yeah. So get out there, go to the theaters, and see and make up your own mostly wrong opinion for Jordan Peele's Nope.
You'll be getting a call from my supervisor asking how my service was.
5 stars, Angel, 5 stars.
Thank you for clicking on this video. We do this every week, okay? And we work really hard at it. He works really hard at all this editing. So, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button.
It's right there. You see it? It's right there.
It's red. It's red like the blood that was on that monkey's face. So
or it's red like that, like the poop the alien shitted out.
Hey, or vomited. Who knows? So if you liked our review for this film, please hit that thumbs up. Or you can hit that thumbs down. Whichever one you choose, it is your opinion. Just remember one thing, it is mostly wrong. You guys have a wonderful day and evening. Peace.